The next thing we want to update in our scene is our speed needle, as we want the rotation to accurately reflect the value of the text. If we click on the needle, we can set our rotation at -132 degrees, which is the rotation at the lower limit of the gauge. If we set this at 132 without the minus symbol, the needle is at 220, which is the upper limit of our gauge. So we need a way to take a value within the range of 0 to 220 and convert that to a rotation between -132 and 132. So let's go back to our logic, and let's take a look at a new node that does exactly what we want. Let's right-click the graph and search for Range Mapper. Now as for the other attributes, we've already established that we want to map a value from an input range to a target range. So let's do that now by setting the inputs from and to attribute to be between 0 and 220, and let's set the outputs from and to attributes, which is the target range, to be -132 and 132. For now, let's leave the clamp attribute disabled, as I'll be discussing clamping later. Now we need to give the node an input and trigger it somehow. So let's create another on change event listener for our speed value and plug the pulse into the range mapper and the value into its input socket. Let's also drag the rotating objects group from our scene into the graph to get its object ID. Then we want to actually set the rotation of the needle, which we can do with the set rotation node. And then plug this into the object ID socket of the set rotation node. Now when we play the project, we can see that the value of our speed is accurately represented by the rotation of the needle. We still have a problem though. Currently the speed can go into negative numbers, and if the value goes out of the 0 to 220 range, the needle rotates beyond the limits of the gauge. To fix this, let's go back to the logic. Before we set the value of the variable, let's add another node called clamp. This node takes an input value and ensures that it is limited to the boundaries of a given range by providing a from value of 0 and a to value of 220. We can ensure that the speed will never go into negative numbers or exceed 220. Let's preview this to test. So that's all for this lesson. In the next video, we'll be adding some additional assets and logic to create cool-looking effects.